We do not have perfect. We have our perfect. That's where a lot of people get lost in success, because they're using a metric of money. Your biggest risk in business is in bed with you. Nothing comes between Team Us. Everything we can replace. We are building something bigger than us. And it's a legacy that is not measured by money. Your children are a message to a future you'll never see. Well, first of all, this is not a stage. You guys are our family. So this is our living room. Whenever we're sharing, first of all, you guys got to understand something. Whenever we've been asked to just share about how we've done what we've done, we want to explain one thing right up front. We do not have perfect. We have our perfect. The world is going to tell you what perfect looks like. I don't give a what the world says. We have what we love playing. We've gamified our life, and it's a game that we get up every day like, you want to play again? Okay, let's play. It's not just about, because all too often we've all seen it where, like, how many people have been to Mike Ferry? Right? We've seen Mike, or how many people have been to, any speakers, and you go, oh my God, they're great. They've got all this success. But like, I love Mike Ferry to death, but I go, hey, Mike, when it comes to money, when it comes to, mindset, I'm open access. You can give us all the information you want because you got those lanes down. But when it comes to family, maybe, maybe not. When it comes to health, I'm like, maybe, maybe not. So where I want to take that is this. When you guys hear us, we personally have boards of directors, like people that we meet or somebody we read about, we go, oh my God, they're amazing in that area. But we always qualify them. So you might want to write this down because this is literally what we think about all the time when we hear information. What lane will we allow them access to our minds? Because again, if somebody's great in business, I go, wow, they have that mastered. But when you see him and he's 400 pounds and his kids hate him, or that nobody knows him, we go, well, he's got that lane down. So let's learn in that lane. But let's not let that cross-pollinate to everything else that they do is how we want to implement in our lives. So there's a simple saying. Don't take health advice from fat people, financial advice from poor people, advice on marriages from marriages that you don't necessarily like, advice on kids when they're little and there's, it's true. It's literally true. So, like when we run into those cases, we're always like, so I just automatically go, if somebody's coming out, they're going to give us information. I go, God, I appreciate it. But, that's not really a space I have the lane open in. So what we're going to share today is this. If it helps you, please use it, bless it, take it and expand it. Do something really cool with it. If it's something that doesn't work, don't use it. But the game is, our game is to help share if this is something you want to do. And part of it, what we're going to do is this. We had originally prepared like some slides and some other stuff, but talking to everybody in the room, we thought, we better adjust it a little bit and let's make it more like just a conversation versus actually like a presentation. Because, we've been blessed. So if you want to start off how we met and do... Yeah, well, this is my illustrious wife, Denise, if you haven't met the beautiful one.
He's setting me up. I feel like I've talked to you guys. We may be repeating these stories because I feel like we've talked to almost every one of you guys with things. But what we developed is what's called Bonfire. And where it started with so it is Bond with a D. And how that all came about is when we were thinking of, we never sought out to, because we're not marriage counselors. We're not marriage coaches. We just want to share what worked for us and expose others to it. Many times we're, as we know as achievers, that we're looking for mentors. And it's really hard to find mentors in that marriage category. Not that we're looking to be your mentor, but we could be maybe a piece of the pie. And there might be, like I said, one or two ideas that you might have. And so that's what we're sharing with you guys today.
And where it started is, I met Denise door knocking when we were 20. So met her door knocking, wound up from there selling her sister's house, and it went on. We actually wound up from there started dating, and then it was kind of like both of us had alcoholic dads, both of us high school educations. Were like, okay, but we had these cool dreams and just all this neat stuff. We were introduced to Tony Robbins, so all of a sudden we're like, okay, we're going to Tony events, we're walking on fire, we're in our early 20s going like, I think we can do this. And we're both thinking like, okay, how do we play this game? So when we decided to do it, we decided to get married, we looked at it and said, okay, we know that let's look at being really intentional. Because right now, here's the thing. How many people have a business plan? Anybody? Mm-hmm. How many people have a health plan, a workout plan, right? You go work out, you do certain things. How many people have retirement plans, financial plans? How many people in the room have a marriage plan? Right? Mm-hmm. A marriage plan, probably fewer. Isn't that funny? So we went, and what happened was the origin of it was we're sitting there when we first got together. We're sitting there and we go, oh my God, we're buying life insurance. Mm-hmm. We're buying life insurance. We're sitting there with our life insurance agent, and he goes, oh, by the way, you're going to want life insurance for this. You're going to want to have it because at this chapter of life, when you have kids, you're going to need it in case someone of you passes. You have to have this life insurance. Then later on, for tax savings and estate planning strategies, you're going to have insurance. And we're going, okay, this is cool. And he's telling us all these events that are going to happen. I go, wait, how do you know that? And he goes, oh, actuaries. He goes, you can tell exactly what's going to happen in your life. And I went, wait a minute then. Why don't we create a marriage plan? So we sat down and started playing with what are the typical attacks on marriage? Mm-hmm. So we said, what are the normal things that are going to come up that nobody really likes to talk about? What are going to be the fights, the arguments, the things that could really challenge and tax a marriage? So we went, wait a minute. Okay, money. Anybody ever fight with a spouse about money or have a little disagreement? Let's call it a disagreement. Right? Does anybody ever have it about, potentially keeping your word or a topic that, God, you really don't want to talk about, right? We all have those conversations in relationships. So we said, well, if we know they're coming, why don't we go ahead and forecast those and start building those in? So that's where this all came about. So now I'm going to digress for a second. We've been playing this game a long time. So 41 years we've been together. And by playing the game that way, we built this little plan to figure out, okay, we're going to build a treasure map. Someday we're going to be at the goal. This will be the goal. At the end of it, though, along the way, we don't want to just get there and say, like, okay, now we're going to be happy. The old saying is, do you want to achieve to be happy or happily achieve? Mm-hmm. So we wanted to happily enjoy the journey along the way. So with that, where we came up with the bonfire concept and all that, and I'm telling you this not from an ego space at all, mm-hmm. is the fact that both of us are a couple retards. We're both like, hey, this is great. This is so fun. Oh my God, we get to live together too? This is great. And well, after time and raising 4 kids and having all of them in our business, people began to notice, well, wait a minute, you guys are actually still connecting. You still like each other after 41 years and all of this. Well, in turn, when in the Tony Robbins world, they took notice and through a couple of events had us read some things in different events. And then ultimately, Tony interviewed us in a few different times. And then ultimately, they sent out a video crew to come spend time with us. Like, is this bullshit or is this real? And we're both like, the hell?
What is going on? 48 hours they were with us.
Yeah, they're with us for 48 hours interviewing our kids and doing all this. And we're like, and you want to talk about imposter syndrome? We're like, dude, do they know we don't know what we're doing?
And Alex, can I interrupt? They were in our business, so they were interviewing our clients as well. I mean, it was 48 hours of complete, wow, they know everything about us. So
yeah, and we're like, okay, well, and then after that's when it came up, hey, you guys have something that's unique. Why don't you try and frame it in a way? Well, every book we read, we would write down a lesson. So here's the game, guys. The term there is intentional. Mm-hmm. We became very intentional about the life we want to build. So are we going to still have problems? Absolutely. So here's the game. Here's what I want you to think about is this. How many people have bought a new car or have a newer car? Anybody? Right? Newer car. When you buy a new car, what do you think? Man, it's brand new. Nothing's going to go wrong with it. I'm not going to have a problem at all. But in a brand new car, what did they do? You lift up the trunk, you open there. What's underneath? A spare tire. You got a brand new car and it's going to get a flat? are you kidding me? Wait a minute. So that means I have to plan to get a flat tire on the road of life. So then I have to anticipate problems ahead of happening. Oh my God, how do we do that in our marriage? So what we decided was there's two ways on this journey. And this was, again, all conscious decisions. And this is where, again, the young guys, when you have young ladies, or young ladies when you have guys, when we decided that, we said, so, okay, if we know they're coming, we can stand there every time we're on the side of the road with a flat yelling at each other, you know what, you should have checked the tires. How come you didn't do this? How come you could do that? And we can be yelling at each other on the side of the road, and then the tire's still flat, we're pissed, we're in the middle of the desert, it's hot, nobody's having fun. Or we can say, look, dude, tire's flat, let's get it changed, quick. Problems are gonna show up, there's no question about it. But what we've done is developed a NASCAR system of changing the tire. So we don't hang in the problem long, we get to the solution really quick. So with that is part of this whole framework. So what we're doing here is we're teaching, instead of like, here's how you stay married or any of that, it's like it's just a philosophy. So especially for young folks coming together and building this, the game is, how do you create something that is magical, that isn't just like, oh man, I've got all this success? And again, jump in any time. And you'll notice something about the way Denise and I communicate, but what happens with a lot of people is in business is they want to tell you, look I go to the gym every day in my business and I make all this money and this is great, this is amazing. But what happens is they build up this muscle that they want to show you, but on the other side, hey, how's your health? How's your family? How's your kids? How's your spirituality? You connected? How's all the rest of it? And it's all spaghetti. Over here, they want to show all the good stuff. That's where a lot of people get lost in success, because they're using a metric of money. So when we're doing this, and we're going to share this with you for a second. So every day you have I'm going to just do it this way, your spiritual life, your financial life, your physical life, your mental life, your family life, your
Financial.
What's that?
Did you do financial?
Yeah.
Financial, relationship, business, mental.
Yep, mental, and then contribution, and then, did I do physical?
Spiritual.
Yeah. Either way. So if we've got 7 of them, and I'll figure the last one out, but what's happening is this. Every day, Denise, in her beautiful dress, is juggling all these balls. Because everybody gets really fixated on their business life, right? Oh, there we go. So what happens is everybody wants to focus on this one, because that is what society tells us is the most important. Our business life, we're going to be so good at this. But what happens is they go, oh, by the way, I want balance. So if you're juggling all these balls every day, the only time you have balance is if you dropped them all, then they're perfectly level. Mm-hmm. So our game every day is to understand we're juggling these, because watch, business is an aspect of our business, of our life, but it is not our life. So what we're looking at as we go, okay, spiritual life, financial, physical, all the rest as we go around, family life. What we're looking at is I'm juggling them and she's juggling them. We both have the same values, so follow this. These are the same values that we've agreed that are important to us when we're living our life. But watch, I'm juggling every day. Denise is juggling every day. At the top of every day, are they all going to be the same? Absolutely not. There's no way. So what happens is, even though for all of us, there's times that we're juggling and all of a sudden you're like, man, I don't feel like we're in sync. We're still juggling the same values, but they're just, the priorities are in different order because something may have happened, okay? So as that occurs, Denise, for example, like on this, it's called the Wheel of Life, or the 7 equities. And if you want to touch on that.
Yeah, so I live by this Wheel of Life. This is something that I do my check-in with each other. I think I was talking to you, John, this morning about it. And it's something, you can just grab it online or we can give it to you. But I do, like I brought one, I always carry these with me, and I do my check-in once a week to see where I am in life. And, it's considered a wheel. So I'd love to, I'll never be a 10, but I'll always, 9 is my highest. And I rate myself weekly. And the biggest thing is I communicate it to Alex, but it's my little self-check on how I'm doing. And I'll give an example of last week. It was my health. I I had a scratchy throat and all that fun stuff right before a trip. And then it was a contribution. I wasn't feeling like I was contributing that much. But that was a 7. Most people would be, you know, my contribution was, I wasn't having a plan for the season I was in because I was just really busy with life and I wasn't giving my all to everything. So anyway, so I rated a 7, and I only care about the things that I went lower in, the 2 lowest things, because if I care about all of them, so I communicate with Alex, hey, this is what I'm working on this week, so he knows which ones are about ready to fall and our contributions. So it just is a helpful tip that I use just to see evaluate myself on where I'm at, and we communicate it to each other. You do it a little bit differently. You don't do it weekly, but you kind of do it when you're feeling like we're out of sync or there's something going on. Well, I'm focused on whatever.
Yeah, and because along those same lines, if you know that there's language and you guys are out of sync, then you can go, hey, by the way, hey, where are you? Because in the fog of war, you will lose your partner. In the fog of business, you can lose your partner. So here's how, and so now here's the philosophy around this. The reason this communication, we created a lot of communication and language around this stuff. So to that is this. Denise and I looked at this. If we build a business, we think about it this way. We are a nuclear reactor. We are a nuclear power plant. If we constantly maintain the core reactor, as a power plant, we can power a nation. And we have kids, we have 4 kids and grandkids, and the legacy that we are creating is beyond us. So we are not living this moment, this is part of it, but we are creating a greater legacy because at the end of the day, equally so if we don't maintain it, a nuclear meltdown can absolutely devastate generations. So for us, it's never about the fact that quitting is an option. We are building something bigger than us. And it's a legacy that is not measured by money. Because if we've done that too many times, I've seen people generationally, the money has gone and the families are so screwed, it's not even funny. If you do probates in estates, Aaron, how many times have you walked into a house where they're still brawling? The families throwing daggers and suing each other for nothing. And we've sat there in estates. I've done over 800 probates in estates. And with that, we walk in all the time and I'm like, are you guys seriously fighting? So remember that. So to that point is around that, and I'm gonna zoom out. So being intentional in forecasting. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story. Just it's a real story, but I want to make it especially because I thought about for younger folks in the room how important it is and why forecasting is critical. We have a thing when issues come up. Who wants to go? Hey, honey, we got to talk about money. They're like, oh, shit, right? Hey, honey, we got to talk about, the fact of whatever it is, something that is just an uncomfortable conversation. But what if I came to you and said, hey, honey, we got to have a crunchy conversation, right? A crunchy conversation means it's not a topic we're going to enjoy, but let's just de-escalate it. Let's take the sting out of it, take the emotional charge, and we should plan for some crunchy conversations. So some of our crunchy conversations might be, hey, Dan, we got to have a crunchy conversation. Hey, we're going to go on a money diet. Does that mean, honey, cut your spending? It means, hey, we're about to do some other stuff. We got to hold back resources to be able to do these cool things we're doing, or because we got to get through a tight spot or whatever it might be. But that's a crunchy conversation. So let me ask anybody in the audience, or any of you guys in my living room, is what typically attacks a marriage? Any ideas? Or what's normally some of the problems? Blame. Amazing. Very true.
Unmet expectations.
Very much those. Do you guys need a minute outside? It's like,
Infidelity.
Infidelity is another one.
Yeah.
Grudge, carrying grudges.
Kids.
Go ahead.
I'll just say that we've been having date night. It sounds like everyone talks about date night, but it's intentional. So on our date night, we're not talking business. We're not even talking kids. Mm-hmm. We're talking us. And we're getting those crunchy conversations out. We're getting all kinds of, planning, growing, all mm-hmm. our things are, hopes and dreams, mm-hmm. our trips, all that good stuff comes out on on those moments.
And the other thing is this, Matt Ferry had a question a long time ago, and we use it to this day. And the question is always, what have you been trying to tell me that I haven't heard?
Yeah.
Every week is, what have you been trying to tell me that I haven't heard?
May I say that? That's every date night. Every week he asks me, I ask him. Every week.
Because most people wait until the frickin' tea kettle boils over, and then they go, now we got to clean up this mess. Well, if we had just let a little pressure out of the pressure cooker, the thing wouldn't blow up. Shocker. Oh my God, right? And the game is hyper presence. Your phone stays in the glove compartment. Mm-hmm. Nobody's talking business. There's no photos. There's no anything. Because here's a game. Here's a game. When we're on a date, our thing is, if the world were a silent movie, would they know we're in love? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If the world were a silent movie, would they know you're in love? So when we're sitting together, we're at dinner, we say, oh, can we get a table for 4? They go, but there's only 2. I go, I don't give a I want a table for 4. Well, why? Because I want to sit next to my woman.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting across the table from her. Mm-hmm. If we're going to talk about some cool let's have connection. Mm-hmm. Let's be together. Mm-hmm. Let's not be sitting there like, okay, let's have a business meeting. What's your objective out of this meeting?
Mm-hmm. When we're doing date night too, we were intentional with that. And we said, okay, what does date night look like? Mm-hmm. Because when we started doing date night, it was like, okay, so I picked you up, and it was so casual. It was like, this doesn't feel like a date. And it's all about impressing each other. You know, I may say yes to a date. So, you know, mm-hmm. he's having to ask me, and I need to market myself, Aaron, and make sure that you want to go on a date with me.
For sure.
And other things that we do is, you know, these are my rules, so, you know, obviously everyone has their own. You know, we talked about this today, that he has to have gas in the car. I'm not going to a gas station. We're limited on a certain amount of time. Time's important to me. Get your, you know, whatever, or have that car, the electric, whatever, have it filled, charged, exactly. And then it was pulling out, you know, you always pull out my seat, you always open the doors for me. It's all these things, but we set that up ahead of time. It wasn't just by accident or me expecting it. And also, by him knowing that's what my expectation is, makes him out to win. Mm-hmm.
We talk about this all the time, and we mentioned this the other day. If right now we split apart, somebody else would see her and go, oh my God, that is the hottest woman I've ever seen. I want to date her. And he's going to treat her like magic, right? Why the f am I not doing that? Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I am lucky enough and blessed to have this woman in my life. If I don't treat her like, the day we got married, I said, one thing you'll know, I've never worn a wedding ring because I'm going to date you the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. Every day I'm going to be dating you. Every day I'm going to be trying to get in your pants and do bad things to you.
That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, you know?
You guys don't schedule that part?
Yeah, exactly. I go, you're going to be very spiritual. You'll say, oh God, a lot.
But, and bringing that up too, there's a lot of laughter in our world. You know, everything, we talked about it today, again, everything's gamified. We gamify everything.
But that's part of the journey, because this is another, remember, we were talking about this, where the saying is, you don't find someone to grow old with, you find someone to remain a child with. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is the blessing. Mm-hmm. So I choose to remain a child with her. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm curious about the world, curious about each other, curious about all of that. So it's, again, this is more a philosophy, a mindset, the way we approach it, the energy that you bring to the connection, mm-hmm. because we get so locked in. So I'm gonna switch gears for 1 sec. So I'm gonna talk about being intentional. So watch this, crunchy conversations. We always talked about, hey, look, what happens? My dad was a gambler, an alcoholic, right? So went to zero, below zero. So when I was growing up. The best part was, though, we said, okay, your dad's an alcoholic, my dad's an alcoholic. If those things show up, compulsions, we are wired on compulsion. That's in our DNA. That's not going away. If we direct it, it's like a laser. It can be really effective. But if we let it go unchecked, it can be really destructive. So the game is then, how do we let each other know if there's something going on? What did you love that your parents did? Even though my parents had some stuff that wasn't cool, they still had some moments of brilliance. I was like, that was really cool. So we said, let's extract those things and then let's do more of those if that's what we like. And then what are the non-starters? Alcoholism, the isms, if you will. And we said, we're going to break those curses with us. We don't know how, but we'll figure it out. So equally so, we said, okay, crunchy conversations.
Can I just add one more thing to that? So with our parents, we obviously approach them with gratitude. We would not be here if it wasn't for them, and love them to death. And they're no longer with us. But we always looked into it was either warnings or lessons, and we categorized them as warnings and lessons because we had to learn from all of it, with the good, the bad, the ugly, the whole thing. But they were warnings or lessons. So we made a pact that these are things that were not going to disrupt us, because we know that we have an opportunity to cut this, make a clean cut, and not have this curse continue forward with others in the generation that's coming. And their children, and their children, and their children. It doesn't matter the past. It's what's ahead for us. It's what we're leaving behind.
And we made a pact also, like divorce is never a conversation. Split, that's not even on the table. This is Team Us. So we came up with the union of Team Us. That is our moniker. It's not about her, it's not about me, it's about a Team Us. That's a third eye that we both work on all the time. Let's say one of us is getting fat, right? Because how do we tell each other if we're, not living up to our word? So we had conversations about how to do that. Just, okay, how are we going to say it to where it's not like detonating the whole house just because we didn't like the way the room was, So we said, okay, if either one of us ever wants to cheat, or there's ever infidelity, how will we tell each other? So we said, okay, we're going to develop language around it. So what wound up happening, 2008, anybody remember 2008, right? We're sitting there and we had, again, well over 40 properties, money's flowing like crazy. We got warehouses and toy boxes, and we got more than we know what to do with. And we're having a great life, living the thing, 4 kids, business is cranking. Obviously, you start believing your ego. Young guys, remember this? Ego starts kicking in a little bit, and pretty soon you think, God, I got the golden touch. I got this. We all do. So all of a sudden, 2008 hits, personally guaranteed a couple major projects. We were already crushing it. And all of a sudden, I personally guarantee a couple projects because now we're looking to hit that. I'm going to retire by the time I'm 45, 50, I'm done. I'm a rock star. I'm going to be living the dream. So now we're sitting there, 2008 hits, and all of a sudden I'm like, this is not good, guys. This is not good. This is really bad. Our business was cranking. We were doing REOs. Neil, you remember, we're all crushing REOs and making money in that area, but we were getting paper cuts because I had personally guaranteed a couple deals or a couple projects, and we were losing $140,000 a month for 2 years. Waking up to that is not a lot of fun. So how many people are going to wake up every day feeling great about themselves? I wasn't. So all of a sudden, I'm feeling good. So now Denise's sense of certainty is like, what's up? Tip of the spear is starting to get a little wobbly. What's going on here? So now all of a sudden things are happening, and I'm like, I'm bailing the bucket as quick as I can. So we're going to work every day to lose less for 2 years. So guess what happens? I'm not feeling as good about myself. And all of a sudden some girl shows up and starts saying all the right things. Oh, you're so great. Oh my gosh. All the right things, right? So there's an opportunity now because the world's unstable. Now, what does a typical person want to do? They want to feel good about themselves some way, somehow. So all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, and I'm starting to look like, what do we got over there? Right? True story. So now I'm like, So
Can I say, to be fair too, and this is just my personal feelings with it, whether everyone else thinks, it doesn't really matter, but I wasn't caring for myself either. I mean, I was not feeling the security that you provided for me and our family. And so, Twinkies, it wasn't Twinkies, but, a brownie sounded better than paying attention to you. And I was gaining weight too, and we were just going down, and it was just a tough one to realize it. And this stuff is real. I mean, it is gonna happen.
To that, so both of us are not in our optimal spaces. So what happens then at that point, that's where I go, hey, Den, because all of a sudden it's like I'm looking at this starting, and now it's not like a glance, it's like, and you really start looking, and I went, okay, whoa. Throttle back here, what are you doing? Came to her, I said, look, Dan, we got to have a crunchy conversation. I go, here's the problem. I don't have a problem, you don't have a problem, Team Us has a problem. And the problem isn't that there's the enemy at the gate. The enemy's at the gate, I'm telling you, the enemy's at the gate. Problem is I want to let the enemy in. So here's the problem we got to figure out. What is going on here that we got to work on? So we spent like 3 days not sleeping. Literally, we must have walked 3 marathons, just trying to walk and talk and figure it out. And there's times she's pounding on my chest, you mother, how'd you get us here? How did oh my God, was it your ego? What was it, And I had to take it. I had to own it because that was a real time. And all of a sudden we locked in and I said, look, here's the deal. When we came to the conclusion, it was, look, everything we can replace. Nothing comes between Team Us. We'll go live in a tent and we'll rebuild everything. It doesn't matter. But this is the gold. Everything else, that's the trappings. We're not going to let man's trappings get in the way of what the real gold is. So at that point, we locked back in and said, okay. I go, tuck your head, get in behind me. I go, we're going to fight our way out of the bar. Pick up a pool cue and start cracking some skulls because we're going to get the out of here.
And I literally have a vision of it. I mean, I could do it right now. It was like a Charlie's Angels. Like I have his back.
Yeah.
And it literally was a physical thing. It's not about Team Us. Is not about just him and I. It's about I want the best for him and he wants the best for me, and we combine it with Team Us.
And that became a reset. Because remember, you're going to be tested. God wraps the greatest gifts in some of the screwiest packages. So the game is, that turned out to be one of the greatest gifts of our lives. But we had to go through the fire to become even hardened. And a chain, I said this to somebody earlier, is a chain is actually welded through heat and fire together to make that strong link. For us, we had to go through that fire. And it's going to be fire tested. There's a great movie, a Christian movie about fire tested on your relationships. They're going to be. But the game is, do you have the language set up ahead of time? Guys, we thought we were going to have a flat tire. Oh my God, we planned for it. Was it fun? No, it still sucked. It was no fun, but we figured out how to change the tire without throwing the car away. I had to take ownership, and she's like, okay, I gotta take ownership of what's going on here. We gotta relock this down. And all of a sudden it was like almost like new air brought into to the two of us. Okay? Because at the end of the day, that was critical for the core reactor to power generations. We could have melted it down right then. That could have been an easy meltdown. And that could have been one that would have devastated generations of our 4 kids, how they perceived life and love and marriage and all the rest. So that was not something we were willing to do. But what I'm telling you guys, it sucked. But on the backside of it, it was the greatest gift God gave us. So with that, then some of the things people have asked us just in general is, how did we transition then with Denise? Because again, so I'm going to give you just a couple thoughts along the lines of when Denise was home with the kids. Denise was employee number 106 at Genentech.
138.
138, I'm sorry, 138. So 138 Genentech, and that's a huge biotech company, killing its stock, everything else. We had our first daughter, and all of a sudden she's like, I can't go back to work. She went to work and was like, okay, I don't want to be here. We've got this daughter and I don't want somebody else to raise her. Personal judgment, I don't care what anybody does. So we sat down and said, okay, here's the game. If you don't want to work, that's amazing. Then I'm going to take the resource of time and devote more of it into the business. So how do we do that? So what we did was then we said, okay, you're going to be at home with the kids, 4 kids as we, grew on. So I'm kind of fast forwarding. But then we said, okay, so what we're going to do then is how do we then stay united while I'm going to be spending more time at work to make sure we can fuel all these dreams we have. We're going to just transition. But that was a conversation. It was a conscious decision. Mike Ferry always says, humans don't have a problem paying the price. They have a problem deciding what price to pay. We knew we were going to pay a price, and we just decided what price we were going to be willing to pay, because then nobody's going to be bitter about it. We're both like, no, Team Us said this is the price we pay to fuel this vision that we have. So equally so, now you're coming home. So this is where I'll take it. You're coming home now. I've just had a whole freaking day coming home to this amazing woman, and this is where marriages run into problems, and this is where a lot of friction occurs. All of a sudden you're coming home and you're like, and she's like, how's your day? Tell me all about it. I'm like, dude, I just lived that thing. Last thing I want to do is talk about it. I am so, right? You too, yeah. We're all sitting there like, I went through hell. I got to go through hell twice, right? So at the end of the day, so what we figured out for us, and these are little cheat tools. So what I would do, and she's been with 4 kids all day, by the way. She's got the zoo going on, and I'm walking into a tornado, and I'm like, did it hit the trailer park today? Right? We're really going like, well, how bad was it? So I pick up the phone on the way home, and I go, hey, Den, and all I'm doing, so guys, and I'm saying this primarily to guys, but girls, guys, whomever, listen closely, be aware, because I go, hey, Den, how you doing? She's like, I'm great. I'm like, oh boy, right? I'm great means, holy shit, the house is on fire, right? And so if she goes, I'm great, I go, hey, I'll be home in a minute. And I don't care what happened in my day. I go, I'm going to be home in a minute. I'm going to grab those guys. I'm going to take them to the park. You go get a shower, go do what you got to do. And then, so I would literally then at that point read that in. Or else if she said, hey, how are you? Oh, God, good. You're on your way home, right? Then I'm like, hey, we're going to go play. You want to come with us? So read the room, read the energy, because it's like, have you ever heard of like, I'm really old, so remember, old transmissions, you had to double clutch because you had to synchronize the gears. You're coming in spinning at a different speed than the home is spinning. You got to synchronize the gears before you get home. So the ability to do that is read the room and know what you're walking into. So it's not like, you never take care of me. You don't listen to me. You're not even knowing what's going on in my world. Oh, no. Hey, how's your day? Let me help you sync up. So when we connect, the gears mesh. Are they going to grind sometimes a little bit? And then you kick the gear? Of course.
We did that. Those were discussions we'd have on our date night. How can we do this here so we're not at odds with each other when you're coming home? Mm-hmm. So I still wanted to know about his day, but we just made sure that we had that conversation on the phone. Mm-hmm. And you're still in phone. He's still in business mode, having to go down, and I'm still in, it's your chance to read the room, read me, to see where I am so we could meet in the middle. And so anyways, it worked out really well for us. Our thing was, and this is, I just want to touch on masculine and feminine energy a little bit. And we talked about it earlier today that, we're at home, either you're, or you're at work as a female, and you're charging that. We're all leaders. Everyone in this room, obviously with the conference name, we're all leaders. But whether we're taking care of the home or we're taking care of the business, we're in charge. And no doubt that's a masculine role. That is my masculine energy, and I do it really well. I don't like it. It's not where I'm best fit, but I have to do it. I have to do it at work. I have to do it at, I work with a lot of contractors at work. I have to do it. But during that time, I was doing it with the kids. I'm running a tight ship. I had 4 kids, I had an army at home. And then, but anyways, when he came home, we made sure that role was switched immediately. So that was the other thing that helped a lot with that. When he came home, most likely I would take a shower. And for some reason, there's something special about getting into your feminine energy and to take a shower with water, just reset, rinse that crap away, and start fresh. So anyways, and then you would take charge.
Exactly. So I'd grab the kids, do whatever was needed. The other piece to that is this. People always ask, how come your kids wanted to work with you?
Oh, yeah.
So that was intentional as well, because we made a pact. We never come home bitching about clients, ever. What'd you do today? I played grown-up Monopoly all day. You what? I go, guys, I get paid to solve problems. So every day I go out and I try to find the biggest problems I can solve that pay the most money to solve big problems. And the kids are like, so problems are good? I go, problems are great. You find big problems, you get paid a lot of money to solve them. So now the kids are like, oh, that's kind of cool. So you get to go solve problems, they pay you? I'm like, every day I play this game called Monopoly. I sell these things, and so I'll sidestep that for 1 second. So when kids are small, if you've got small kids, what we would do is take the wall at a glance, monthly, the annual calendar, and we would sit down with the kids with our goals and say, by the way, here guys, here's our goals. But if mom and dad, it goes in 4 month or 3 month, four different segments of quarterlies. And I'd go, if we sell this many homes during this quarter, we're going to take this trip at the end of the quarter. And they'd go, okay. And then I'd go, if we do this, we're going to get new motorcycles. Okay. If we do this, so we'd have all these things set out. So every day I'd get home from work and they'd be going, hey Dad, how many homes did you sell? I go, dude, I didn't sell any homes today. And they're like, well, why are you home? Right? Change the energy. God, you're always working. Flip it. Flip it and roll them. Guess what? They were learning that goals create, delayed gratification creates some really cool outcomes. And then equally so, Denise would be like, oh my God, you sold house? So now we're all celebrating. Everybody's enrolled in the goals. Everybody's connected. You're now bringing them, it's all coming because everybody's willing to pay a little price. You follow? So there's, like I said, there's a lot of things. We wrote out over 300 lessons because I'd read a book, or we'd read books. We'd be like, hey, what are you reading? What do you got? And then we'd hear somebody go, we got to instill that value somehow. So we would write out, we have literally boxes of over 300 lessons that we wrote out on how we were going to raise kids and values and all the rest. And
well, we just called them breadcrumbs, which Angel's around here somewhere, that he mentioned breadcrumbs. It's something that we would say, okay, we don't need this now, but we need this down the road. So.
Yep. But so along those lines, but the game is this, don't bitch about your business. The fact is this, without every business, you said it earlier, how do you solve people's problems? Every business, the guy that put a liquid into my car solved a problem so I didn't have to push that thing up the hill. The guy that put the round rubber thing on the bottom solved a problem so I didn't have to carry the car, right? Everybody is solving somebody's problems. The way that the business and life works is when we create an excess of energy because we've solved so many problems, that gives us a resource that is stored in little green slips of paper called capital. So when we do a really good job, we have excess capital. That's excess energy that we can now apply anywhere we want for people to solve more of our problems. That's the way money works. So we go out every day trying to solve big problems. Follow? And we explained it that way to our kids. And that's how they got engaged in the fact that, oh my God, if we're really good problem solvers, we're going to make a lot of that money. Isn't that funny how it works?
Alex talked to a lot of you guys on how we do our reset. You know, you guys are hard charging every day. And so he does a meditation at night, and it's really powerful and great. Well, I'm in that sauna as well, and I'm listening to him doing his affirmations or his I ams. So I know I've been doing it for 41 years. He's been adding on to the same list. But what's really powerful with that is, as a wife, as he does it to me as well as a husband-wife, is we acknowledge each other with that. So he'll say something like, I am a man of my word. So when I recognize him being a man of his word, I make sure and tell him, I go, of course you did. You're a man of your word. Mm-hmm. And it's just that reaffirming his affirmation. Mm-hmm. And it's something that it's so simple to do. It's our conversation. And it's a good practice because it just shows, again, a team us collaborate. I want the best, your best, you want my best. Mm-hmm. Let's encourage each other to be that. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And remember this too, you go 41 years. Who goes, man, I'm so excited to do 41 years with a person. Sounds like a prison sentence, right? But if you go, wait a minute, we've had 4 10-year marriages. Because every 10 years we go, literally, we started this when we were in our 20s. We go, if you could be married to a guy 10 years out, who would he be? And because again, we know we want to hit to 110. We know we want to hit 110. The question is, along the way, we can't forecast exactly the arc of life, technology, life, just all that stuff. But we go, wait a minute, the next decade we could probably pick pretty cool. So who would you want to be married to? And you go, oh, by the way, and she's like, I want to be married in our 30s. She's like, I want to be married to a guy has an incredible business, in good health, loves his wife, really into her, has great kids, just a great family man.
Rich.
Well, so at the end of it, so we designed all these people. So every decade, it's like you're designing the person that you get to meet. So it's like, I said this the other day, it's like ordering a car. If you showed up, you go, God, I hope my car makes it for the next 10 years. Or if you said, man, I can't wait to get here. I ordered this car and it's showing up in 10 years. Man, it's going to be there. And wait, that new car smell, whoo, right? It's going to be amazing. That's the game, is again, gamifying the fact that we get to meet new people and be around them and create them and build them. And I want to give her what she wants. And equally so, it's not a selfish thing, like, gosh, that's what you're after? Oh my gosh. It's like, oh, so what would that look like? What would that be like? Because as you have kids and you're in the thick of it, you're gonna be buried. So the game is, again, how do we make it fun for each other? And knowing, because remember, humans don't have a problem suffering. They have a problem suffering without an end date. If they think it's eternal, like, how am I ever gonna get out of this marriage? Oh my God, how am I ever gonna make it to the end of 41 years? It's psychologically challenging, conversely speaking, if you're in a situation where you go, wait a minute, we're building something that's going to be even better. When our kids were getting to be a certain age, we said, okay, now we've got to now transition. So this was in our 10-year plan. And I'm not going down the rabbit hole of the matrix. We call it the matrix, that the table that we have in our life that we do for forecasting and planning, because we have it actually all written out, our ages, our kids' ages, all those things. And then we forecast what's going on in everybody's life, what ages will be, and how that translates, whether it be financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Where will they be and where will we be and what do we need to be working on? Because it's just a game that we're juggling, but at different arcs of life, you're going to be looking at which ones become a priority. When our kids get married and find their spouses, we immediately share with them. We go, we love you guys to death, but you're no longer our family. You are now our relatives. Because again, we want you two to lock in. Whomever you choose as your spouse to be absolutely united, we're going to be having a party for two. You never worry about us. You don't show up to Christmas, Thanksgiving. We don't care. We are going to be having this, and this is more important than not all of it. And our job is to be useless in your lives. If we're needed, we f***ed up. We want you to create a relationship so tight that you can't imagine. So where that stemmed from was we were reading about it, and I went to my parents, because most men, I'm saying this to young guys again, most men never cleave from their mothers. And so in turn, what happens is they're always trying to, like, oh man, I got to help my parents out. I got to help my mom out. And your wife will never feel safe. She will never feel fully connected. So I sat down with my parents and said, look, man, I love you guys. We're in our 20s. I sat down and said, I love you guys to pieces. You're amazing. But I want you to be clear on one thing. You guys are my relatives. That is my family. And this is how direct I was about it. I said, if there is a burning building and you guys are in it, you're dead. I'm going for that woman, and I will do everything to save her. I hope you two can save each other, because at the end of the day, I have been charged with an honor for this woman. It's not a responsibility, it's an honor. And I will carry that to my grave. So hear the mindset difference? It's not something that it's a get to, it's not a have to. Now, let's fast forward. Present day. The kids were getting older. So here's another little game for anybody. Who's got kids that are, let's say, where your youngest is between 10 and 15? Anybody? 10 to 15?
Wow.
Okay. So watch this. We, forecasting again, said, okay, how come people in their 50s get divorces? because we were turning 50, and we have, again, this is all on a chart. We didn't want to go too deep into it because I could spend a whole day with all these 300 lessons and when to apply them and how. But literally, we sat there and I go, Den, crunchy conversation. She's like, what? I go, we're coming into our 50s. I go, we're about to hit 50, and here's the deal. Our youngest is now turning, he's 15. You're about to be 50. So we got 4 kids. You've spent your whole life pouring into these little bastards. And now the last one's about to start driving. You're becoming Chinese. You're going to be Mama Who. They're not going to care. And I go, here's the deal. This is where couples get divorces. They turn 50, identity shift.
Yeah, and that was the big thing, is the identity. Who am I? I was mom. I was the caregiver. I was the person that was pouring my all into them. And then who am I now? And so Alex, brilliant said he says, well, I'm not gonna mother him or it'll drive him crazy, to having that. So he bought me a puppy. And then I can have a dog, and do the love and all that stuff. And that's when I was I was changing my identity and figuring out, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Okay, so we promise we will wrap this up pretty quick, but the biggest thing that Denise was reminding me, all of us, you live by design or by default. The world wants to give you the table scraps. If you don't design what you're after, there's a guy named Thach Nguyen. And Thach is a brilliant guy, done very well in life and business. And Thach has this thing where he says, he goes, you can walk into McDonald's, and if you yell in McDonald's, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, and you just keep yelling, I'm hungry in front of McDonald's, they're gonna keep looking at you, and you can starve right there in front of the counter. But if you order from the menu, they'll bring you what you want. Life is the same. Mm-hmm. So don't just stand there yelling you're hungry, design what you're after. So that is the game for all of us, not just in our business. Tell me about your marriages. Tell me about your kids. Tell me about your life. Tell me about your physical body. Tell me about all the 7 equities and order from the menu. Don't just take the table scraps, because they'll give you the table scraps. Everybody will. But that's not the life you design. That's not who we are, or we wouldn't be in this room in the first place. So,
can I just say something really quick? And design it together. Don't just, again, we've got a lot of achievers in this room, and you guys I do a business plan, I'll do a marriage plan.
How many people said, man, I'm gonna make $1 million? Anybody ever say that? I'm gonna have all these assets, right? I'm gonna build this life, it's so amazing. I'm gonna make 5 million, 10 million, whatever the number is, right? How many said, 20 years in, I'm gonna cut it all in half? How many ever said that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nobody? You're kidding me, why not? But yet you didn't plan, because remember, your biggest risk in business is in bed with you. Amen. Divorce is half. Yeah. And here you are, you're gonna build this empire, and you're not gonna know what the biggest risk and also the biggest blessing was. Mm-hmm. And you didn't address it. Mm-hmm. Brilliant, awesome, good idea, great idea. Oh.
That's it.
Right? Don't let the enemy in. Switching gears back, when Denise started working with us, because people ask, this is one of the questions we get asked a lot. They go, well, how do you guys do that? Keeping the polarity, because like I said, I want to chase her and do bad things to her like she owes me money. Right?
His money, but.
So what we do is literally in the morning, so I'm going to give you, this is more like a tactile, because remember there's strategy and then tactics. Strategy is we want to be connected. We want this great life. Tactics are the small tools that we use. And we have a lot of tools. So but here's one of the tactics, or in that strategy. Every day we wake up and I go, hey, Den, how's your day? Because when Denise came into the business, and I'm speaking, jump in anywhere you want, but what she does is Denise comes on appointments with us, because a lot of our clients, she goes in and says, and I love the way she does it, she's so good about it, because she walks in the house and the house could be whatever. And these guys are propeller head geniuses that can put a widget on Mars, but they can't match 2 socks. They are literally like on the spectrum. So she walks in and she's so loving about it. She goes, God, I love what you did. It's really personal. So, which is a code word for this is right? So then from there she goes, so we want to help the broader audience really appreciate what you've got. So can I make some suggestion? And she proceeds to just make decisions on how we're going to help expose the house or remodel it. And she'll do 3 to 4 houses a month, getting ready for the marketplace. So, but in that, she deals with a lot of contractors. Do you think her energy is highly feminine or highly masculine when she's dealing with contractors? Yes. Mm-hmm. So every day I wake up, I go, how's your day? What's your day like today? And you'll?
Yeah, I'm going to kick someone's ass because they're behind schedule and we need to get this property on the market or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it, but she'll go, yeah, I got Pete, I got this guy, he's behind. We got to get this one done. We're late to market on this, whatever the story is. So then I go, okay, you're going to be in your masculine today. Mm-hmm. Anybody identify ladies being in your masculine, right? Got to be in your masculine. So immediately, as her husband, I go, I love that. Just remember, bring my wife home tonight. Mm-hmm. There's only one set of balls coming to bed tonight, and they're mine.
It's true. And one thing I got to clarify too, because a lot of you guys are just meeting us. There's extreme, but it's for shock value, and it's to get me. It's our language to each other. But if he was mamby-pamby, if he was just saying,
honey,
oh, please don't, I'm not going to get that. I'm going to run over him like I could do the contractors. He's got to be the extreme. He's got to put it to me. And I know he's not going to do it, but, all that stuff there. But I'll say that as a woman, too, that I've lost a lot of friends because they didn't understand that. They couldn't understand it. They couldn't understand how I can allow him to talk to me to say one set of balls to bed. Yeah. How did I do that? Sometimes he says, what's your famous with another one.
This is a joke again, but people take it literally where I go, baby, I got one hand. One side's for love, this side's for listen, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny, but then you got these women that are taking me aside going, are you okay? Seriously. Yeah. No, there's some kind of little signal that you do on social media. But anyways, it's our language, and it didn't matter what they thought. I'm in it for our team less. It didn't matter what the outside world thought about it. What we're saying also is that he does the extreme. Well, I have to be in the extreme too, in my extreme feminine. It only works if because we're in the middle. We don't have it then. We don't have that.
And when, the people who, let's say, the women who pull you aside, because you are, A, they might hear him say that, but then B, you also are in your extreme feminine. Mm-hmm. Do they give you, static about that? About being in the extreme?
Oh, completely.
And in what way do they give you static? What would they say?
Well, one, are you okay? I can help you. I'll go kick his ass, because there are all these, these women that just want to defend me in a good way. Yeah, in their masculine. Exactly. Yeah, and they, for years, how many women that I have that, oh, you shouldn't have long hair. I mean, it's not as big of a deal now, but, because when you get older, or you have all these kids and you have long hair, how are you doing it? Your hair should be shorter, or that. It's like, no, I used to have really long hair. It'd be like, no, this is who I am. It doesn't matter. But there was, okay, we'll go into personal, and I promise I'll wrap this up quick, but our rules. Can I go into our rules? Okay, so we had, there was a time in our life that I felt like I couldn't make Alex happy. And he felt the same with me. So we did an exercise, just something that we thought of with each other, is what makes Alex Lair happy? Let's write this down. I need a checklist on this refrigerator.
And if I could jump in, just right there, just for context. When you have young kids, I'm working my ass off, everything's going on. I got fed after the dog. Mm-hmm. So I was at the bottom of the totem pole. That's a chapter of life. That's not forever, but that is a moment in life. And I'm like, dude, where's the payoff in this shit? The first kid shows up, and by the time the fourth is like, I'm really an idiot because I did it 4 more times. Right? Yeah. But go ahead. Well,
no, this list, it'll make you laugh because I want socks, because he always went to the gym in the morning. So, and he wants to grab and go. He doesn't want this pile of laundry that's, on the chair to search for 2 socks that matches. So it was, I want a pair of socks in my drawer. I want my boxers folded. It was, I want boiled potatoes in the refrigerator. He can make a meal out of anything. It means I cared about him. And I want sex every day. And
yes!
Woo! It was a flippin' list on our refrigerator for years. For years. And for years, my habit was boom, 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 boom.
No
Yeah.
pun intended.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Then it was
Yeah, exactly.
boom.
Yeah. But and then I had some tricks to it. Is like I bought an extra pair of
Yeah,
pack
she
of
had a lot of
socks,
tricks, by the way.
an extra pack of socks if I didn't get to my laundry. I need to slip a pair in. I'll get to it tomorrow. Same with the boxers. The potatoes was easy. It was all that stuff. It was our communication of what makes it work.
But then I'm curious, so you had a list
Yes.
for him.
Yeah.
Are you open to sharing what your list was for him?
Yeah, I don't even remember it all. It was all about how I get treated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more
'Cause-
touch, connection.
Connection.
And communication. I had to listen. And it was like about me being connected, being present. Because again, what happens? Guys, what's that?
You said your ears were bleeding?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my eyes are watering. But literally, what happens is we show up, we're physically there, but are we emotionally there? No. They can feel if we're not present. And that hyper stillness is the presence that she's seeking. So if I'm like there going, and I'm looking over her shoulder and I'm like distracted.
Your phone, like.
Yeah, you're doing this going, oh yeah, okay. Oh, no, oh wow, that's really too bad, right? Is she gonna feel that? So that connection is, we had a drawer at the front of the house. When you go into a bar as a gunslinger, you put your guns at the door. You hang your guns at the door. At our house, you open the drawer and you put your phone in there. If you're gonna be connected when you're home, the gun goes in the drawer. So then,
As a wife, though, I was feeling that these clients are getting the best of Alex, and I'm getting the table scraps coming home.
What I would propose is that wasn't just the feeling, it was the truth.
Yeah, they were.
They were getting the best.
yeah, you guys wanted real, so this is how it rolls. So watch. We don't have perfect. We're still creating it. It's still it's not art. It's not science. It's art. We're still painting. We're still like, ooh, what do you want to put in the landscape? What's that going to look like? Ooh, this chapter. How do we want to change the photo? How do we want to create this to where we're both like, let's keep painting. This is cool. So, but even down to sex. When it comes to sex, everybody's like, okay, you had sex every day. Just thanks for coming, right? So
Where's he going with this one? Go.
let's just go hit it out of the park and call it a day. So all of a sudden it's like, well, how do we gamify that? Ooh, why don't we? This is all oral week. Ooh, this is. You guys are gonna be embarrassed, but it's real. You want to keep it fun? You want to keep it exciting? You better start coming up with some games. Hey, let's go to the toy store. I'm like, well, if we don't use it, well, I'll mix concrete with it.
The funny one. But on our end, I'll say this here, obviously more G-rated, but we're in a hotel room, put a scarf in a scarf over a light in a hotel room is so romantic, and it gets these guys going. Amazing. Yeah. They just love it.
The red light on her.
It's being intentional.
What I find super interesting, because we can laugh and it's playful like that.
Yeah.
And I love that. But what I find super interesting is the intentionality around recognizing that I'm constantly and consistently and perpetually making a decision. Yes? You think like, oh, we got married and that's it. No. I'm intentionally and purposely making this decision to keep this fun, to keep it exciting, to gamify, like you're saying. And I think that that's incredibly rare.
When you're blessed, be a blessing. Too often we like, just because you didn't witness it doesn't mean you can't have it. Listen to that for a second. Just because you didn't witness it doesn't mean you can't have it. We hear it all the time. Oh man, my parents didn't grow up that way. Great. My parents were alcoholic. My dad was an alcoholic, gambler. Did I have to repeat that? No, absolutely not. So the game is, if your parents weren't exactly what you hoped they'd be, what a blessing. What a freaking blessing, because now they gave you a channel marker for you to be able to navigate forward and not go aground over where they did. And that's the blessing. So as you're doing this, back to the default, the design, that's a crunchy conversation. How many people, and I'm going to share this with, just as this chapter, because as we're evolving, we're constantly evolving and painting a new picture. So I keep going, I'm building a guy at 70 for this woman to love. I'm building that guy right now. She's building this hot woman that I'm going to be just going, right, at 70. So the game is, though, as we're going through this, when we're playing this game, we literally go, what's he going to walk like? Because now I'm in a different chapter of life. Am I going to be the old man? Because this is for guys, because I'm telling you, women feed off of us. And we think that, oh man, my wife's not being all that. It's because you're being a So old guys, what happens? They quit smiling. Why are they smiling? Because their teeth get yellow and jacked up and they don't do anything. Put some goddamn whiteners in, go get some Invisalign, straighten your smile. Because you don't look happy. And they go, why is his energy down? Right? Every old man walks like he's got a potato chip up his ass. He doesn't want to break it. They start walking spread-legged. I hired a mechanics coach to work with me. Watch, I got titanium here, I got more parts. I can't go through an airport. So the mechanics coach says, hey, look it, if you want to walk young, old men quit using their ankles. So what do? They start walking old. They start shuffling. They start shuffling. So what do? You pick a line in the carpet and you go, and you walk with intention, chest 1 inch higher. Is it a different energy? Is she going to be attracted to that, or is she going to be like, I got to bang this old dude that looks like he can't, like he shit himself? What are we bringing to the table, right? So that's what I'm saying. I'm not going to bring her table scraps. I'm going to bring her the best freaking meal I can possibly deliver. Mm-hmm. And if we bring that, man, that's just, it just keeps igniting and getting better. And besides, we get to enjoy it even at another level because we have perspective in life, and it's just place. So zooming back for 1 sec, when we hit 50 and we were talking about our kids, right? We're like, oh man, we're going through this transition. Who do we want to be? We spent a year on the question, who do we want to be in the next decade? What are we after? What are we after? No, what are we really after? Because we were like, okay, what are we after? More stuff? We're like, no, less stuff. Let's start getting rid of stuff. Stuff is not the answer. Let's get rid of stuff. So we started getting rid of stuff. So we said, okay, are we after money? We go, yeah, money's cool because we love the options, the choices, all the stuff that we do. Are we after, we said, okay, are we after travel? We go, yeah, some travel would be cool where, some things. So we kept going after, we kept playing with the question. This was a date night question that what'd you come up with from last week? What'd you come up with? And finally we landed on time. Mm-hmm. And then we said, what would we do? And we were both like, oh, time, that'd be cool. What would we do with the time? And then we said, oh, what do we like to do? And so Denise loves music. So we said, okay, well then let's go and we plan concerts. So now we go chase music. Wherever it's playing that we want to see it. If it's in Europe, we're going. It doesn't matter where the music is, we're going. And then from there we said, what do we love to do with music? We love to dance. Let's take ballroom dancing. Let's take salsa lessons. Let's get into it. Because what happens is you guys quit working together and quit moving together. All of a sudden you're back moving and her hips are moving and they're aligned and I'm like, woof. Smoke show.
And also too, we get bossy, we get in our masculine, so I want to boss him around. So it gets that whole polarity going where he has to lead me.
Yep. So again, all those things. So it's reigniting those games again. So now we're in that chapter. So now we're building that for the next chapter. And then with our business, we talk about, obviously building the EXP downline and all that, which will happen. But equally so, we understand we are building a dynasty. And the dynasty is the fact that our business is amazing. Our 4 kids work with us, our in-laws work with us, and more are coming. Our grandkids are now 5. 10 years from now, our granddaughter will be 15, right? I'll be 71. At that point, do we want her going, well, I don't know about, what I'm going to do in my career, or if we've got a thriving business, which aspect of real estate do you want to be in? Do you want to be in the team building side? Do you want to be in the construction side? Do you want to be in the real estate side? What's your genius? And then how do we help you explore that genius? So those are all the games we're playing. So it's not a vision of today, it's a vision of what's bigger than us. Because there's a saying that says, your children are a message to a future you'll never see. Your children are a message to a future you'll never see. We want to send a really good message to the future. Amen. Follow? So this is outside of us. This ain't about us. We want to enjoy the journey We're both going to step off this ball of lava one day going, man, that was a hell of a ride, right? But in what we want to do is make sure in the between we enjoyed the journey. And most importantly, I've been blessed to have her. I've been blessed beyond any man, the richest in the world. So that's not going to be the price I'll pay for the journey we're going to walk. So that's it. So thank you guys.
I've become aware of something, is that increasingly leadership is being linked to influence, and that influence is being linked to attention. We have to start really kind of thinking about, if we want to lead, whether that's leading our teams, leading our organizations, about this thing we call media/marketing. Now, if you were to ask me 5 years ago if I did any marketing, I would have proudly and aggressively and disdainfully told you no. What was interesting though is I was actually engaged in a form of marketing. I had built my business and grown my business using telemarketing. Even though I was really prideful about it, I started to notice some flaws in that strategy. One of the flaws that I noticed is that if I wasn't around to do it, what happens? Stops.